everyone. I hope everyone is doing fine. So I've been doing AutoCAD for a few years and I have some experience, and I wanted to share some commands and things I do while working on AutoCAD that maybe uh, improve or make your workflow a bit faster and work on AutoCAD a bit quicker, or things you couldn't do before and you had difficulty doing it. You can't do it now. So I just want to clarify, this is not a beginner guide. I'm just giving some tips and things that I use while working. And if you feel like you need them, you might try them next time you work on AutoCAD. And I'm sorry for my bad English. I know the sentence structure and the pronunciation, everything is so messed up, but I'm trying my best with English. I hope you at least understand what I'm saying. But I have only a few, so you can see the list is very short. But I promise I will share more at the second part. I just haven't been feeling very well lately, so I was thinking maybe I can do this. This has been in my mind for a really long time. Enough talking. Uh, so the first thing on my list is a box selection. This is a very basic thing, but in case you haven't tried it before, you basically have two selection type in AutoCAD. One is the one you drag from left to right, from right to left, and it's green and has a boundary that's hidden, like a hidden type line. And basically this one selects everything that touches it. You can also use this one, or just click at the next point. But this is the most common one, and I think everyone uses it. But this the one you click and drag from left to right, people well, not people, even when I started using AutoCAD, I felt like the program was broken, because when I tried to select stuff, it didn't select what I wanted. But it basically selects stuff that is inside of the box. So if this is the box, and it only selects things that are inside of the box, and things that are not part inside the box and part outside of the box are not going to be selected. For example, if I have this inside of here, uh, maybe that was a bad selection, but I'll try. Let me bring this. I should have prepared this before. I'm sorry. Bring forward. So if I'm trying to select this door, I just do the select box, and it's not going to select the walls, because the walls part is outside and part is inside. It's useful for cases like this. I know it looks weird, the door is underneath the staircase, but there are many cases people use this. For example, sometimes people have a toilet up here underneath the staircase, and it's very possible, but it usually opens on the other side, not this side. But I'm trying to demonstrate what's the command used for. For example, if I do selection like this, it's not going to select the stairs, it's not going to select the walls, it's only going to select the door, because it's completely inside the box, the selection box, and there's no part of the door that's outside of the box. And we have this line that's this long, and when I select it, it's selecting that one as well, because it's inside the box. But if you don't want that to be selected, you can zoom in and hold shift. You see the minus on top of the cursor, and when you click on it, it's deselecting. That's also useful. So if I'm selecting this door, but I don't want this arc to be selected, I'll shift and click on it. It's not gonna be selected anymore. Just in case that's useful for you. Usually I use this very often. Like it's not a rare condition when you need it. It's actually very often that I need it. Let me just go back. I I deleted this part for by accident. For my second command or tip, uh, there's a there's a command called stretch command. For example, if you have a door like this and you want to move it to the right or left, I usually selected the door, move it the door, and then trim it these lines and extended these and trim it these. But those are extra steps. You can do it by one command. Select the door and do stretch command and drag it. Uh, Make sure you have ortho on. You can see it here. If you toggle that, it's gonna be aligned with horizontal and vertical. I mean, it's gonna be toggled to horizontal and vertical only. Uh, and when I click on the second point, you see my door move it and all of the walls are trimmed. But the stretch command is very sensitive. The way you select it, you cannot select this part and select this part again. Maybe you can get away with it for some situation, but for example, if you have an object sticking out like this, uh, if you select this like how I did it before, you are gonna mess up the other object as well. So I usually when there's an object next to the door, I select it like this and move the door free. The door is like now accepting the stretch command. Uh, how I see stretch command is, let me change this to green. So imagine this is my selection. Uh, Imagine this box is my selection. It usually focuses on these borders instead of the center. For example, when I'm selecting the door, you're expecting these to change as well with the stretch command, but no, only the walls change. It's a very smart command. For example, sometimes I have a line. We have section A to A in my country, and for section A to A, it usually goes through doors. And when I select the door, and sometimes I have to move the door, it doesn't move the section line. The command is very useful and very smart. It knows that you don't need the line to be moved. But if you move this door in any other way, like moving, like move command, you're gonna have a hard time. You need to try selecting in a way this line isn't gonna be selected or affected by any way, and some other difficulties. But the stretch command is doing all of it for you in the matter of seconds, and uh, it's really useful. I actually use it more than I have to. I just love the command. Uh, for my second tip, sorry if I'm changing back to my notepad very often. I don't have second monitor, so I have to change back to this to see what I have on what I have planned for today. We have layers in AutoCAD, uh, just like SketchUp or Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator and almost all of the other programs. We have layers on AutoCAD, uh, and I don't see many people use layers in AutoCAD, but it's actually very useful. It's that much useful that I have it toggled to my left side of the screen so I can see all of my layers. So I can show you an example how useful the command is with this elevation plan. This is a very simple elevation. I know you can do crazy stuff and make it look better, but I have this simple one for the sake of the video. For example, you have a lot of going on down here, like you have you have a big entrance door at the back. You also have a window and a staircase going up. And if you want to make any changes, it's going to be really hard selecting all of the lines. I know it's not perfect. There's some lines in the staircase, but it's going to be very difficult to select, trying to select this window without messing up and moving the window and then trimming and extending. But if you sign it the staircase as a stair layer and a window as window layer or whatever name you name it, you can come to this drop down, uh, I have my layers starting with exclamation mark because I have so many other layers and I don't want them to be mixed with the others, so I have exclamation in front of every text, so they always stay at the very top. For example, if I want to hide the staircase and I want to make some changes to behind it, I can hide it, and the window is very easily selectable. So if I want to remove it, I can remove it very easily. If I want to move it somewhere else, or if I want to make any changes, the same for almost everything else. So for window, if I click on this bubble, or not bubble, this light, it's a sign. My English, I'm sorry, but if you click on it, it's gonna turn off and on, and you also can lock it, so it's not selectable anymore. You can see the lines uh, changing color, but if you apply any command, it's not gonna move. It doesn't let you because they're locked. And uh, if there's other objects on top of them and you wanna move these objects, it's not gonna move the window because it's locked layer. I have layers for important stuff. You don't have to overlayer everything because it's gonna take you more time, especially if you're doing AutoCAD as your work and you have so many requests every day. It's gonna take so many times, but once you have, for example, I have this workspace. I'm gonna talk about this in a bit, but I have windows and everything. So if you have all of these set to window, um, if I turn off window now, they are all gonna turn off. And if I copy these to any other plan, they are also gonna turn off. So it's very useful since they're all gonna adapt the same layer. It's not gonna change to another layer once you copy it. So yeah, the layer command is very useful if you want to make any changes afterwards, after you have done your model or you have done your drawing. You want to make any changes, it's very useful because you can hide and lock and uh, freeze stuff very quickly. Or sometimes you can change color on the fly. Let's see, we have copy and paste. So yeah, copy and paste is uh, like, why do I have this on the list? But uh, it took me so many years to realize this, but I get to tell you now. Probably you have already figured this out, but if you make some changes to a plan, uh, and for example, you change this hash to something else, I know it looks awful, but I want to keep the video very short. But if you make some change, and you're like, no, I want the other version back, but if I Control Z, I'm gonna lose this one. I want to have both of them. You can select this, Control Shift C, click on a point, and to go back all of the way to where you want your drawing. So I have this now, and if I Control V, I have the other version as well. So I have both versions now, and I didn't lose any progress. But before, if I made changes and had the newer version, and I wanted the other version and this version to be on my model, I had to make a new model and redo the stuff I changed. So it was very painful before I realized this is a thing. I hope it helps you in some situation. Align command. This is a very smart, actually not smart, but this is a very useful command I use very often. So align basically does moving, rotating, and scale at the same time with 2 clicks only. It's crazy. So, for example, if you want this garage door to be on top of this wall, uh, if you want to do it with the 3 basic command, you move this first, then you select it again, you rotate it. I know it's possible, uh, but it's gonna take you so much time. And if you want to scale it now, it's just another extra. But with align command, you select the object. For example, I want the door to be this much big. I know in AutoCAD everything is measurement, but for example, imagine we want the door to be this big and to be angled on top of the wall. You select the first object you want to move and copy. Sorry, you want to move and rotate and scale, uh, and you do align command. I mean, align command is very useful. That is my A key. So I bind all of my keyboard. It's probably A by default. I don't know, but uh, uh, the command is like the closest to where my hand rests on the keyboard. So you select the object, you do align command, you select the first point and the first point on the new place, the second point and the second point on the new place, and now right click. If you want to scale the object, you do yes. If you want to only move and rotate the object, you do no. But right now, I know this measurement is smaller than this one, and I want to scale it, so I do yes. You see it it rotated and scaled my door uh, very quickly. But if I don't want to rescale this doors, for example, this door is not scalable, uh, I don't know. So you see it only moved and rotated, it didn't scale it. The door is the same size, and now you can um, clear the wall. So if you're confused how I just trim stuff like this, this is the 2021 version of AutoCAD. They made some changes, so now the trim command can be used as line, as free line, uh, and some other changes. Let me clean this mess up. So if you can afford, if you are working somewhere, you probably don't need this video because this is a very basic stuff. Uh, but in case you are working somewhere and uh, they can pay for the 2021 version, uh, that's really awesome. Just go for it. They made so many good changes to 2021 version. It was very difficult for me to get used to it because I was used to a different way of working with trim and extend, but now I just love I just love it because they made it so much quicker and so much uh, user friendly. Uh, yeah, that's it for the align command. Oh, add selector command. So in drawing programs or softwares, you sometimes have a certain color. For example, you have this line and you want to make the same line type and color. Uh, so the way I'm doing this uh, without I'm using add selected command. So if you select something and right click, there is add selected, and now you have the same object uh, as your brush. Basically, if you are drawing stuff, this is your brush and you use the same color, line type, the same command, everything. So this is hatch. I want to have the same hatch in this wall. I'm selecting it, and I have the command as my AD, and if I press space, I'm in add selected command, and I can click places and paste the uh, hatch basically. Or if I'm trying to uh, have, this is basically a rectangle. For example, if you are very lazy to go all the way up there or retype the command, you just click on the stuff, add selected, Oh, this is this is supposed to be a rectangle. Sorry for the misunderstanding. So if I have a rectangle, I select it and now wait. Never mind. Something is wrong with AutoCAD. It thinks my rectangle is P-line basically. So we have P-line in AutoCAD. It thinks uh, my rectangle is P-line for some reason, but it works for everything else. I promise you, this is not a lie. For example, if we have this solid color, I can apply it here with add selected command. I can repeat all of these. For example, if I have this line over here, I don't have to draw something and select it and change the color and everything else. I can just select it, do add selected, and start drawing. I think it's very useful and very handy in so many ways. Uh, but if you don't like it, you don't have to use it. And I'm sorry for misunderstanding this. I thought it can be used for rectangle as well, but apparently rectangles are P-line, closed P-line to be honest. Uh, I have no idea how is that. We have quick select. This is a very good command as well. So if you have a mess like this and you have so many hashes and you want to select them, uh, I now I can click on this and select it. Both are selected because I did the hash at once, and now I can delete or do whatever I want with it. But imagine I have so many stuff on my screen and I cannot select everything. You can select everything you see, go to uh, quick select, and th this dialog, this window alone needs 2-hour explanation to be honest. But I'm gonna explain it briefly and very quickly. So what you can do here is uh, in this selection we have all of these type of things. We have line, we have text, arc, ellipse, circle, spline, polyline, and hatch. And if I want to select something in particular, I select hash. I dedicate the color or layer or type or anything about the hatch, or I can do select all hatches. Okay, and now it's selected all of the hatches. But if I want only the red ones to be selected, first let me see what color is this. Let's forget about that. The video is gonna be very long if I'm going very specific. But for example, if I want to select the hatches, I can select by layer, or I can do multiple and select by layer, equal, and I can select all of the windows and this selection, okay, and delete. I deleted all of the windows. I didn't have to, for example, before I had to select this, sorry, this window. I had to select uh, this window as well, and I have to be careful not selecting hashes and go between all of the uh, railing and select everything else, and it's just taking forever and slowing you down very much. But you can select everything, go to quick select, uh, and if you do multiple, I did multiple because this has lines uh, and probably hatches. I don't have it now, but it probably has hatches and everything because some Windows has hatches over here, as you can tell. But quick select is very useful if you have a lot of going on and you want to select one particular type of thing, and or you want to select everything. That's one type of color, one type of line type, one type of one single layer. It's just really deep, and I suggest you to practice it more. It's something you have to practice other than listening or watching someone doing it. The more you practice it, the better you become. I mean, the better you become at using it and finding stuff. At first, when I used it, I was going through the menu and like I have so many of these. Which one do I select? And then if I select, for example, layer, I have so many here. What do I select? And all of these on and off. Uh, but basically, you don't have to turn on and off and change anything. Just leave it as default. The only thing you want to worry about is these four. Uh, Multiple is the one I use mostly, but for example, you can go to line and angle and select everything that's, for example, greater than 45 degrees. That could be useful for in some places. Uh, Workspace. So this is my workspace. It changes very often. Workspace is where you work or where you do stuff. So I have my useful stuff. I have all of the line types. I have all of the different dimension styles. This is actually not all of them. I have even more. I have some mannequin, some necessary doors and windows, but I have to drag even windows and doors from other drawings and blocks I downloaded online. Uh, so I suggest you to have a place and organize your layouts and necessary stuff. I have this box that works for a lot of that helps me a lot. It has the necessary doors, so I don't have to look for it in another drawing. I can just select any door I want and copy it for places I want. Uh, and I have these that I use as uh, so basically I do add selected, and if I want the place to be grass, uh, I can just make it grassy. Or if I want this to be hash instead of the lines, I can do hash and later delete the rest of the lines. This is the basic hatch I use. You can have your own ones depending on your needs. I also have these stairs, these stairs as well. So you might be like, why is the staircase like this? But because I'm working on AutoCAD or I used to work on AutoCAD a lot, I lost my previous job because uh, of some country issues. Uh, but this is very useful if you are in a hurry and want to make a staircase very quickly. So you see you click how many stairs you have on that line, um, and you can add this one to the very bottom and do the rest for the other direction as well in case you need it. That's my workspace, and you can have your own workspace. It's very efficient, very good for you. Uh, Also, make your own stuff. So I know this is not all of mine. Like this door is obviously from online. The stair is partially mine, partially online. But try to make your own stuff. I realized this very late, but making your own furniture and other type of stuff like stairs and doors and windows is very fun and makes you more familiar with the program. Because AutoCAD is not a program that's very basic and you can master it in a year or two or even 5 or 6 or even 10. It's a program that you always learn stuff, and there's always new version, and you can learn more stuff about it. And the more you work, the more you uh, draw stuff on AutoCAD, the better you become. So I suggest you to make your own windows and doors. So for example, if I go up, some of these doors and windows is what I made. Uh, and when you are going to places and see a house and you find this door cool, just take a picture of it and go back to home, make an AutoCAD version of it, and customize it in your own way. It's really fun. You get used to the program even more, and uh, it's honestly uh, even better because sometimes when you download stuff from online, it doesn't suit your work, and uh, they have so many polygons, or not, actually not polygons. The lines are not. Uh, if you have an arc like this, some of the online stuff, it's basically just small lines, and it makes your AutoCAD file even heavier and very slow. So making your own windows prevents you from, avoids you from those issues as well. Command alias. This is something you don't use every day, but uh, I every time I re-download AutoCAD, uh, I just spend half an hour in this list because uh, so the way AutoCAD works is you you don't have shortcuts, but you have shortcuts. What I mean by this, you cannot press F and expect the program to do something for you right away. You have to press F, then enter or space, but I find the space much closer to my hand because the way my hand is resting is on the left side of my keyboard, and all of my key, key, keyboard shortcuts are on the left side of the keyboard. But when you get AutoCAD, it said that C is for circle, but I don't use circle almost ever. Uh, I use copy a lot, so if I do C and space, it's gonna be a copy. I use area a lot. If I do AA, it's gonna be area. If I use quick select a lot, so QQ is quick select. I know some of these doesn't make sense. For example, X is my move command, V is my erase command, uh, D is my di di dimension linear type, DD is my dimension. I mean double D is dim aligned. This doesn't make sense for you, but do whatever you enjoy and whatever things you think is the best for you or for your work style. Uh, and I have my line as tilde. I know this is very silly, but as I said, my hand is resting on the left side, and I don't have to look at the keyboard to look for L and then space. That's just a couple extra seconds wasted. Uh, I just do tilde for line, and I do double tilde for offset because I offset very often. uh, so I go to command alias. Uh, you can add, for example, I want df to be something like fillet, for example, or anything. Yeah, you can add as many commands you want, but sometimes f is taken by another command, and you have to say I want to change or update it to this new command. I think that's all. So I'm so very sorry. I know the English is very awful, and the video is just a mess and very long, and just I did prepare for it, but some stuff went wrong. and I'm sorry, but I've been going through a very weird time right now, and I just wanted to do some things that I keep my mind off those stuff. I know this, like, nobody cares about it, but that's why the video is very messy. I couldn't edit it, or I couldn't uh, like prepare more for it. But I promise the second part is gonna be a bit better and a bit more organized. And I work on my English. Sorry I had issues, but I hope this was very useful, or at least you learned a couple commands from me. Uh, Thank you so much for watching, and I hope. Or by the way, if anyone needs help with something, since I don't do my other job, I used to do house plans, uh, and since I don't do that anymore, if anyone needs help, uh, anything that I can do with AutoCAD, I will be more than happy. Just drop a comment, and I'll reply as soon as I see it, and I will be very happy to help. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed or learned something. Have a good one. Take care.